I went through private school, I went through public school, charter school, I went through alternative schools, home schools, virtual schools, all of it. That's kind of why I'm sharing like my put of all of it. Hey guys, what is up? My name is Brittany, for those of you that don't already know me. So today I kind of wanted to come to you with another story time video. This one's going to be more of a lighthearted story time video. This one's just gonna be about my education process. Yeah, it sounds boring, right? Off the top of my head, I'm gonna guess I've been to about 12 schools. We're gonna count in a second because I can think of all the names. Rough estimate is I'm gonna say 12 or 13 schools total. Like different literal schools, like different names, different everything, completely different schools, about 12 or 13. That's a good amount of schools, you know? Like I haven't even graduated yet, and I've been to about 12 or 13, graduated high school yet. I've been to about 12 or 13 different schools. And you only have 12 years of school, and I've been to 12 or 13 different schools, so that kinda, let's get into that now. Let's start from the very bottom. Very first school I ever went to was my preschool. I was 3 years old. I vividly remember a lot of this. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Very first school was called Little Friends. Right. It was a pre-K, 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. It was at a Baptist church. It was fun from what I remember. Like, we just sang songs, we did the alphabet, ate snacks, nursery rhymes. I had some friends. I had a lot of friends. I didn't really have any girlfriends because I was gross. I was gross. I burped a lot. I was just like a little boy. I stayed through, you know, all 2 years of that school. It was nice. It was a little bit too religious for my liking, but it was nice. Like, it wasn't like they shoved it down your throat or anything. And then my next school was kindergarten, and where I started kindergarten anyway. And that was Hendricks Day School. I stayed there from kindergarten through 5th grade. My second school. I liked it, but I didn't. That's the first school I ever got kicked out of. I got kicked out because I was at recess. I was in like a skirt or dress, basically. I was going down the slide, and my butt just kind of slipped out from under me. I basically rolled down the slide, so my skirt went everywhere, and like I fell, I hit the floor, so I said, you know, like, I hit the floor, it hurt. Some kid was underneath the slide, and I guess they heard me. And the next thing I know, like the next day or later that day, something like that, I'm just sitting there with my friends at lunch, and then the dean comes in and goes, Brittany McCall, please come to my office. She sits me down, and she goes, so I heard you've been using some foul language here on campus. I can't even slip, fall, and hurt myself and say, like, exclaim, you know, audibly announce the fact that I'm in pain without somebody snitching on me and getting me kicked out of school. Because, I mean, it was Hendricks Methodist Day School, so you're getting, like, a pattern here. My grandparents were Mormon. I was in private school. These are all private schools until 7th grade. This is my second school. Preschool was Christian. It was Baptist. This one's Methodist. And so, you know, no swearing tolerance, especially since I was in 5th grade. So 5th grade me gets kicked out. I mean, not right away, like, they let me finish the year, but they just asked politely that I not return the next year. So it wasn't like, leave, you're expelled right off the bat. It was, you can finish up the year, just please don't come back. So I didn't. They recommended to my grandparents, because I got, like, D's and F's. I wasn't really focusing, mainly in just math. So they said that I needed extra help, so they suggested the school called Greenwood. Greenwood is a school for, I don't want to say challenged people, because, like, I wouldn't call myself challenged, but I would to a certain extent. Like, I'm kind of slow, but I'm not, like, you know, there are a lot of fully functioning individuals there, so I don't want to say it's for challenged people, because it isn't necessarily. You either have to be, like, really rich and functional or challenged, because you get McKay scholarships, which basically, if you have a disability, like I have a 504 plan, so I have a McKay scholarship, but it doesn't cover nearly as much as somebody who would have, like, an ESE or a EOP. I have a 504 plan for depression and post-traumatic stress. If somebody had, say, autism or Down syndrome, you know, something far more challenging, basically, they would have more help basically with their plan would be a lot more attentive to them, whereas mine's just simple, small little tweaks here and there to my thing. I don't need that much help. So yeah, that's basically what Greenwood's for, is kids mainly that need extra help because of things going on with them, And I loved that school. If I could go back to any school, because that school went from 8th grade to 12th grade, if I could go back to any school of my choosing, besides art school, which I'll get to in a minute, I would go to Greenwood. Now this is my 3rd school. It's funny because number 3 is my favorite number. It's my lucky number. 3rd school I ever went to. I loved it. I loved it so much. It was a private school. It's the very last private school I ever got to go to. 6th grade, I got almost A honor roll, except I had an 89.9 B in math, and so I got AB honor roll. I was like, what's it called whenever you get how you have a class representative and it's student body presidents and all that? I was the student body president for the 6th grade. I was at the top of my class. I've never thrived so hard. I feel like maybe it's because the school was easier, but I don't know. I worked hard. I struggled to get my math and but I still did it. That's the main school I ever thrived at, but it was the most expensive school. And since my 504 plan wasn't as extensive, my 504 plan didn't cover as much of the funding, so the McKay scholarship didn't fund as much, so we couldn't afford it. My grandpa lost his job at ITT Tech. So now I'm moving on to my 4th school. My 4th school is my very first public school. It was River City Science Academy. This is a charter school, so I didn't just go straight into a public school. It's still a public school, but it's a charter school. A charter school is a public school, but you have uniforms, basically. It's the same thing, just with uniforms, which sucks. But I was used to it. I hadn't ever been to a school before where you could wear regular clothes. I was used to, so it wasn't anything for me to complain about, really. Had a good time. I met the first person I ever fell in love with, the very first young love, the love. Lost my virginity. Yeah, 7th grade, I was 13. A lot happened that year. I had developed an eating disorder, a short while after my first breakup. Mentally and emotionally, that year was not good for me. I kind of don't remember a lot of it. So moving on to Little Friends, Hendricks, Greenwood, River City Science Academy. Now the 5th school would be Duval Virtual, being the 5th school. Duval Virtual, a virtual school, obviously, so I was homeschooled basically. And not really much to say about this school. Obviously, it was easy work, it was regular schoolwork, but it was difficult and didn't work for me because I couldn't, you have to be able to sit down in front of this computer, the internet, right? You could get on Facebook, you could get on some addicting games, you could get on YouTube, you can get on so much stuff. So you're sitting down at this computer expected to just get on your schoolwork and focus and do that work, right? Some kids, done, no problem, graduated, yep. I'm not one of those kids. I sat down on that computer, let's open up some Facebook, let's open up some everything, everything besides the work. That didn't work, so I was like, maybe it's just the fact that it's Duval Virtual, so I was like, let's try Florida Virtual, because maybe that'll make a difference. It didn't. Same thing happened with Florida Virtual. So I went to Duval Charter at Bay Meadows. So let's count again. Little Friends, Hendricks Day School, Greenwood, River City Science Academy, Duval Virtual, Florida Virtual, and now Duval Charter at Bay Meadows. So Duval Charter at Bay Meadows, another charter school. So it's public but uniforms. Another school I only stayed a year at. That was my 8th grade year. See, 8th grade I started out at Duval Virtual, didn't work. Florida Virtual didn't work, and so now Duval Charter. I got kicked out halfway through the year. Because I got high for the very first time. I took an edible. I got kicked out for multiple reasons. But the main reason, the cherry on top, so to speak, was me getting high. For my very first time I took an edible, and I made the mistake of telling everybody because I wanted to be that cool. I wanted to be that edgy kid. and they told on me. So I got DCF called on me. They came to my house. They drug tested me. I got put into inpatient rehab at Gateway, which I talked about in my other video. And yeah, and then I got into like a fight. I made like a mess everywhere. I talked back to teachers. I cussed them out. I got kicked out. So still in 8th grade. This is the Little Friends, Hendricks, Greenwood, River City, Duval Virtual, Florida Virtual, Duval Charter. Now we're at Southside Middle School. Wait. So Southside Middle School. My first like public school. Fights, riding the bus, getting jumped, like the whole bit. Just all of that stuff happened. It was interesting. I enjoyed my time there, but I ended up with a bone disease called osteomyelitis, which I'll make another video about later on. And when I got osteomyelitis, I was in a wheelchair. Like, it was very painful. It was my left hip, so I left Southside I didn't graduate there. I had to leave Southside because I was in a wheelchair and I was in pain and I had to go get a surgery, and then I was in the hospital for 2.5 months. I'll make another video on that later. So now leaving school number 8 to go on to school number 9, which is hospital homebound schooling. Because of my extremely rare bone disease, I'm now, I can't continue my education, so I gotta do it online again. But this online schooling is the best online schooling I've ever been to. Like, if I could go back to one other schooling besides, like, the traditional schooling at Greenwood, like I said, hospital homebound schooling, bro, like, that was the best school ever. I literally sat on, like, they gave you a laptop for free. Like, you didn't keep it, but it was like a rental school one. You didn't have to pay for it. They just gave it to you to hold on to for a while till you graduated from that year, or until you weren't as terminally ill. I don't think terminally is the right word, but anyway. So yeah, I just sat on my computer, but this time we had certain times that we had to log on. So instead of, me being responsible for signing in and doing my work, they took that off my shoulders, They were like, this is the time you gotta log on. You put your headset on with a microphone. It's like a whole bunch of like 10, 15 other kids that are also, some of them have cancer, some of them have regular bone diseases like me. I say regular even though it's extremely rare, but different things that prevent them from being able to go to regular schooling. And we basically were just all, interactive classroom. When there's a whiteboard, like, we can all see it as the teacher's drawing on it with her little Wattpad that she has and all that stuff. That was really cool. Like, it was online. Like, I didn't have to worry about all the other kids and the social pressures and all of that. I could just work at home, but instead of having to worry about making myself responsible for my own work, I could just have somebody else make sure that, like, this is the time to be here. This is the time you have to come. This is your attendance. If you don't come, you get kicked out of the program. Like, they put that fire under my butt to keep me going. That's school number 9. I'm actually remembering the count now. So I graduated 8th grade with, hospital homebound schooling. And now 9th grade, my first year in high school. I recovered from my osteomyelitis. 9th grade, I had auditioned for the school called Douglas Anderson School of the Arts in 8th grade around February, my birthday, and I got accepted. I did not get accepted for art because I applied for art and creative writing. I did not get accepted for art, but I did get accepted for creative writing. I love Douglas Anderson. If there's one thing that I really regret, like, I regret a lot of things in my life. A lot. But I really regret leaving art school. It was just too much for me mentally, emotionally, physically. Like, the time I'd been through a lot. Like, I was kicked out. I was, I was doing drugs. I just gotten out of a year-long relationship at 14 years old. Like, I was just doing a lot of things that I shouldn't have been doing, and I was suffering the consequences for it. At the same time, I was trying to go through art school, and that's not a good mix. Like, I was trying to figure out how to balance my arts area work on top of my academic work, on top of my outside social life, my outside relationships, my outside, like, emotional problems, my outside, like, housing issues. It just just wasn't a good fit at that time, so I dropped out. And that's school number 10. Douglas Anderson is school number 10. Little Friends, Hendrix, Greenwood, River City Science Academy, Duval Charter, or Duval Virtual, Florida Virtual, Duval Charter at Bay Meadows, Southside Middle School, Hospital Homebound Schooling, Douglas Anderson School of the Arts. Now, school number 11. School number 11 was my first public school where I did not have a uniform. That is where I went to 9th grade after I dropped out of art school, Douglas Anderson. Inglewood High School. Inglewood was about the same as Southside. Like, it was messy. It was a regular public school. It was public school. Like, it was everything that's in the movies public school. Like, it was as regular of a public school as a freaking public school could get. I didn't really like it. That's just me. I didn't stay long. I wasn't used to staying at long at schools, especially not regular, normal schools. So I caused a lot of problems there. I kind of reverted back to what I was doing in 8th grade at Duval Charter, but instead really like 10 times worse. I was doing a lot of drugs, particularly Xanax. And this one time I took some Xanax like the night before, and I woke up really groggy, really just irritated, like I was still like coming down kind of from the Xans, like that after you wake, because whenever you're on Xans, like at least for me, I was just super chilling, like I was like slumped, I was asleep, I was happy. But whenever I wake up after doing Xanax like the next day, I get angry. I'm really irritable. So basically, yeah. I did some Xanax the night before, and I go to school the next day, and I get dress coded in the lunchroom. You know, she goes, "Hey, your shorts are too short. Come over here." And it's the vice principal. You know, I started going off to her, word for word, like, "Listen here, you stupid son of a bitch. Don't tell me, you know, what kind of shorts I can and cannot wear. You're sexist, you're this, that, and the other." Like, I gave her the whole thing. Like, I was livid. I was not having it. Like, I was not about to go home and get my dad to bring me a new pair of shorts. I was just, of all days, this was not the day for me. She just gets silent. You know, she just goes, "Come with me." So she takes me to the principal's office, obviously. And I don't even get to walk into the door. Like, she opens the door, and I get ready to set foot into the office. Like, I don't even get the chance to, like, look into the door, and I hear, "How dare you call my vice principal?" And then she, like, this principal, she's just going off. I mean, rightfully so, don't get me wrong. Like, but, she's just, like, ripping me a new one. And then so I just go, like, right off the bat, just sets me off. I'm like, "Oh, you're just gonna, I just walked into this door, and the first thing you greet me with is this? Like, you thought I gave it to your vice principal? You are a girl, you are about to get." So I was like, I called her. Long story short, I had a very interesting parent-teacher conference that day. And she said, "In all my years of teaching, I have been called many, many horrible things. But that's the first time I've ever been called that word." Which kind of took me by surprise. Like, I don't really see it as that interesting of a word. Like, it's kind of my favorite word. But I like Charles Bukowski a lot. But I digress. But yeah. I definitely left Inglewood. So that was school number 12 after Inglewood was Catapult Academy. Catapult Academy was number 12. Hopefully I remember that, God. So, Catapult Academy. That was my first alternative school. Catapult Academy is an interesting one. They're basically an online school, but you have to come into a classroom setting. So, it was 5 days a week, but instead of the regular 7-hour long school day, it was 5 hours long. And you come into a classroom, you sit down. They have an AM session and a PM session. So the AM session was usually from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then the PM session was from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And basically you'd come in, you'd sit down in a whole room full of different computers, and you'd log into Apex is the program that we would use, and we'd just take, our regular courses, but on the computer. So again, it was sort of like homeschooling, but they took out the having to motivate yourself part. Like, they took out the having to make yourself responsible for doing your own work. Like, they put you in a classroom where you had to do the work, basically. I saw that work pretty well for a lot of my friends. I also saw it work not so well for a lot of my friends. It didn't work. It worked for me, but it didn't. I feel like if I had different teachers, like, I like the teachers, it's just some of them gave us the answers, like, they help you, but like, they just would run through the steps and they were like, you got it right, and then we were like, yeah, definitely, and then that was it, because they had to help other kids. So if you said no, then they'd be like, well, we're gonna have to get you a tutor because we can't just sit here and work through it the whole time with just you. And then, you don't want a tutor, so then you just don't ask for help ever again. Kind of how that went. So I left Catapult, which is school number 12. My boyfriend of currently 3 years, as of December, right now it's November, anyway, I don't care. My boyfriend currently of basically 3 years, he graduated from Catapult, so that worked for him. See, each of these schools, there's nothing wrong with any of them, it's just, I went through private school, I went through public school, charter school, I went through alternative schools, home schools, virtual schools, all of it. That's kind of why I'm sharing, like, my put of all of it. There really isn't a kind of school I haven't been to yet that I know of. School number, after Catapult, 13, so I was right, it is more than 12 or 13. Dang it, it's more, because I'm not done yet. School number 13. School number 13 was Lone Star High School. Lone Star High School is another alternative school, so it was another computer classroom, sit down, 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. This one, though, it was on a pretty not rundown, I don't want to say rundown, because, like, it could be, like, west side or north side of town. So it's not rundown, but it's just, like, halfway rundown. It's in Arlington side of town, like, south side, kind of. And it was like Catapult, only they had metal detectors when you walked in. They confiscated your phone, they searched you with the wand, and if the wand detected anything, they'd literally pat you down. I felt like I was going to prison every day, honestly. There weren't any windows in any of the classrooms. We had a 10-minute break to eat lunch. It worked for a lot of my friends. Like, I've had friends that graduated there, no problem, they didn't bother them. If anything, having that level of discipline helped motivate them to get out and graduate and take their lives seriously. Again, like, this school is very drastically different from a lot of the schools I had been to. I've been to a lot of schools, and this one was pretty weird, it was very different. I wasn't used to, like, that. But it worked for a lot of kids. Each of these schools worked for many kids. It's just not me. Basically, school number 14, Marine Science Center. That's the school that I'm currently at. It is an alternative school. This one is actually more than an alternative school. This one is a dropout prevention school. So you go from private school to public school to alternative schools, when all of those schoolings don't work, and it's like, your last chance thing, to when even the alternative last chance doesn't work, you get another last chance, which is the dropout prevention schools. There are many different kinds of dropout prevention schools, just like there are many different kinds of charter schools, private schools, public schools, Christian schools, all that good stuff. Dropout prevention school, there are like two that I know of here. There's one called Bridge to Success, and then there's one called Marine Science Center. Bridge to Success, you have to have certain criteria. You have to have certain criteria to qualify for both, because it's for people that are genuinely going to drop out and have given up on their education, like last resort type thing. So for Bridge to Success, which I didn't go to, I had an option, Bridge to Success or Marine Science Center. Bridge to Success, you have to have been withdrawn from a traditional school, or school education program for at least 2 years, I believe. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on it again. Basically, you had to literally be dropping out. You had to really need the help. For Marine Science Center, I think you just had to have been withdrawn for 1 year, maybe a few months, something like that. You had to have been withdrawn from school though. And you had, what they do is regular schooling. Most schools they go on a credit based system. So most of them, I believe, are 18 to 21, maybe 16, something around there. Credit, system. I had completely, completed all of my credits to graduate high school except for my 4 math credits. I completed one, so I only have 3 more math credits to go, and because I had done everything, I blew everything out of the way at my at Catapult and Lone Star, so I saved all my math for last. And so when I came to Marine Science Center, I told them that. They were like, here, we don't do that. All the credits that you worked all those 11 years for, they're out the window now. The only thing that they do at Marine Science Center and like the dropout prevention school like that, like these anyway, they basically, instead of doing it credit by credit, like course by course, they take the standardized tests that everybody has to take to get the diploma, like the PERT testing, the EOCs, the FCATs, the SATs, the ASVABs, the ACTs, all of those tests, like the big tests, they make you take all of those, and if you pass all of those, then they make you take a GED. And then if you take all of those state accredited tests and the GED, it basically goes to the court or whatever, and it gets turned into a high school diploma. So not a GED, but a high school diploma. So when I came to Marine Science Center, I had already taken my all my EOCs. I'd taken my PERT. I passed it with like 107 or 137, basically the very highest score you could get. I passed like the SAT already. I passed, as a junior, I passed the SAT. I passed literally every single test except the GED, because like I didn't need to take that before the school. Excuse me. All I needed left to graduate were my 3 math credits. So I come to the school and then I find out, I've already taken all the things that they wanted me to take to graduate, so all I need to do now is wait for the GED. So at this school where I'm at right now, in order to get accepted to the school, besides meeting the criteria of, I need this, you have to pass a fake GED. So they give you like a practice version of it, like a mini GED. So it's about 25 questions, the mini version, per subject, and there's about 5 or 6 subjects, so 2 math parts, a social studies, a science, a writing, and a reading, I believe. I think that's it. And you have to get at least a 50 or higher on each portion, like each subject. And you have to get an overall score of at least 180 or 380, something like that, to be able to get accepted into the school, to be able to take the PERT if you haven't already taken it, take the EOCs, take all those tests, and then eventually take the GED. So I came into the school, I passed the fake GED. Took me 2 or 3 tries, but I did pass it. Got into the school, and I'm like the only kid there that's taken every test needed already, so I've just been studying and preparing to take my GED, which will happen November 5th and 6th. And then that'll determine if I pass it, then that'll give me my high school diploma, and I don't have to go back to school. Right now it's November, or about to be. It's October 31st. It's Halloween. So if I pass this GED November 5th or 6th, then I don't have to go back to school until I graduate in May. Like, if I pass the GED, like, now, because I took the fake GED, and the people who scored like the top 16 get to take the GED first, because there's different test dates. I scored in the top 16, so I get to take it the first test dates, which is the 5th and the 6th. So if I pass this GED on the 5th and the 6th, then instead of coming back, December, January, February, the regular school year, I don't have to show up. So another interesting thing, besides all of that I just went over about this dropout prevention school is what it is. Main thing that I love about it is it's a vocation, or it's a commercial fishing school. So on top of it, what we do is, the other schools, the alternative ones were 5 hours a day and they were on the computer and stuff. This is about 2 hours a day. I get there by 8:30. I leave, full school day is 8:30 to 1:30, but I usually leave around 10:30, so 8:30 to 10:30, because half the day we do fishing, and then the other half the day we do academics. So when I get there by 8:30 in the morning, I sit down, I do the warm-up on the board, and then he tells us which groups are going to do fishing first and which groups are going to do academics first. I usually like to do academics first. That way I can just get the academics done out of the way. When it ends at 10:30, I can just leave. Like, I don't have to stay for the fishing. A lot of kids do. Like, I do sometimes, but it's Florida. It's really hot, so I don't always stay. It's like an optional thing. But the full school day is, academics and then fishing, or fishing and then academics from 8:30 to 1:30. Overall, all around, I really like this school. This might be the one that gets me to graduate, Big school number 14. All I have left to take is this GED, so if I pass it, I finally get it. 14 schools later, I'll get that diploma. Knock on some wood, because I just said it that many times. That's pretty much it for today's video. Just figured I'd sit down and give you that whole rundown of my 14 schools and kind of why I went to that many schools and what it was like and how it was for me going to that many different kinds of schools. Yeah. So hopefully you found this somewhat interesting, maybe even helpful with your own journey and trying to find what kind of school works best for you. If you have any sort of questions for me, like regarding any kind of education, like what might fit best for you, feel free to just hit me up, like message me, comment below, like anything. Like, I'll leave my Instagram in the description. That way you can just message me, DM me, but better yet, just comment in the description. Or in the comments, I will respond. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe for more. Gonna keep trying to pop out some more story times for you guys, maybe a few more how-to tutorials, and yeah, y'all have a good one.